If we think of planning as pieces of a puzzle that create complete communities, places where everyone can work, live, and play together, it's easier to see how many pieces it takes to get to that beautiful image. Zoning bylaws are pieces of that puzzle. If you've ever thought about having a small business in your home, building an addition, or adding an additional residential unit to your property, you'll encounter a zoning bylaw. If you want to build a shed at the back of your property, that too will also be guided by the zoning bylaw. These are just a few examples. Think of the official plan as a finished puzzle of the county's vision. Zoning bylaws are pieces of the puzzle that implement the vision. The zoning bylaw defines specific rules, called standards, for how specific properties in the county can be used. Where buildings can be located on the property, how tall they are, how much parking is needed, and so on. So, if a property owner wants to change the zoning rules significantly, for example, change the property from residential to commercial, or build an apartment building where a detached house is, they can request a zoning bylaw amendment. The Planning Act requires the county to consider requests to change zoning. County planners receive, review, and make recommendations to council to approve or refuse applications made by any property owner. If council's decision is appealed, decisions are made outside of the municipality at a planning tribunal. The review process staff are required to follow is the same regardless of who requests a change to the rules. If the planner does not review the application and make a recommendation within the timeline set by the province, the property owner can request the decision to be made at the planning tribunal. A landowner may want to request a minor exemption from the zoning bylaw because, for example, they want to build higher on their property. It is important to understand that building a taller structure may already exceed that standard by a minor amount, say by adding one extra story, but if the property owner wants to exceed that standard by a minor amount, say by adding one extra story, then this is an example of when a minor variance could apply. There is a process for this that is similar to zoning bylaw amendments. Planners prepare recommendations that are brought to the Committee of Adjustment for a decision. If approved, a minor variance does not change a zoning bylaw. It simply exempts you from a specific requirement of that bylaw. This kind of application has to satisfy 4 tests. 1, does it meet the general intent and purpose of the official plan? 2, does it meet the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? 3, is it appropriate and desirable development or use of land? And 4, is it a minor change? It is important to understand the zoning in your neighborhood and the proposed changes. You may receive a notice in the mail, see an ad in the newspaper or online, or a sign on a property saying that a neighboring property owner wants to make changes to the zoning on their property. Each of these notices is an invitation to the public to provide feedback, either through a written submission or at a public meeting. This is an opportunity for you to have your voice heard. You are the key piece to the finished puzzle. We want to hear diverse viewpoints from the public. As the county grows and changes, zoning changes big or small are typically your opportunity to speak up and potentially influence decisions about plans for a specific site. It's important to get involved, and we want to hear from you. Tell us what your concerns are or if you support the changes. You can visit brant.ca/planning for more information on how to get in touch with staff and get involved with local planning decisions.